Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about the final reports. So this is the last step in your projects, and I'm just going to get the PowerPoint started up here right away. So you will need to submit your final report soon, and we'll go over the date for that and how you submit your final report and the information that you will need. So you already know about Safe Drinking Water Foundation, obviously. You know that we send water testing kits to schools and that we have other water education programs. So I'd like to know what grade you are representing. So please type the letter in the chat and see what other grades are represented. So if it's kindergarten to grade 4, please type an A. If it is grade 5 to 8, please type a B. If it's grade 9 to 12, please type a C. And then also, where is your school located? So we're going to use numbers for these ones. So if it's Yukon Territory, Northwest Territories, or Nunavut Territory, then please type 1. If it's BC, type 2. If it's Alberta, Saskatchewan, or Manitoba, please type 3. If it's Ontario or Quebec, please type 4. And if it's somewhere in the Maritimes, please type 5. And I'm just going to pause for a minute here to see the responses. Okay, thank you for that. And I'm going to share the screen again. So the final report. So the final report will be due Friday, December 20th. So once you have finished distributing surveys, gathering data, educating the community, distributing follow-up surveys, and calculating changes in attitudes and behaviors, it's time to write a report about what your topic was, what you did, and the things you found out along the way. So for most schools, this is probably right before the winter break. So the competition rubric, so your submission will be judged based on the following criteria. So there's a lot of criteria that you'll be judged based on. So the number of people involved and the diversity of community involvement, volunteers, survey participants, how many people have decided to change their attitudes and actions on water issues, educating people about from where their water comes, how many people knew at the start of your project where their water comes from, and how many people know now that you've educated your community. The measurable positive impact on Canadian water issues, how many liters of water will be saved each day, how many square meters of impermeable surface were made permeable. So you can report on both if you did both. So the liters of water saved and the square meters of impermeable surface made permeable. And in that case, whichever would get you the highest score will be used. How many water conserving devices have been installed? So this isn't marked, but it relates to how attitudes have changed, and it also relates to the liters of water saved, and the inclusion of photos and videos of students taking action in their community. So at the completion of your project, all that is left is to fill out the final report submission. So you can complete the online form to submit your report, and that is the link where you can find the form. So it's the same link as you can find where you can find more information about the competition and the recordings of the webinars and things like that. So student action competition. So what you should think about. So make sure your project took place in Canada because that's a requirement. Please write a description of your action project from beginning to end. And there is a word limit for that. Did you or your students attend or watch any of the webinars? If yes, how many webinars were watched and by how many students? Were any volunteers involved in the implementation of this project? If there were, then how many volunteers were involved and how many volunteer hours were invested into your project? So maybe you got your area's watershed organization involved, or you got volunteers from a local company. And you also need to report on how many people you educated and how many surveys were distributed and how many people completed each survey, how many community educational events were held, whether there were any formal or informal partnerships developed through collaboration as a direct result of this program or project, and if yes, the number of partnerships and with whom partnerships were formed. And obviously you'd have more information about how you worked together and what you did together in your description of your project. And then we also need your data. So what measurable impact was a result of your project? So this could be a decrease in water usage, it could be water saving devices installed, it could be impermeable surface made permeable. So if there was a decrease in water usage, please indicate the number of liters of water saved. And if there were water saving devices installed, please indicate how many were installed. And if impermeable surface was made permeable, please indicate the total square meters made permeable. Now remember that you would be marked on the number of liters of water saved or the surface area that was impermeable made permeable. So if there are water saving devices installed, it's great to include that information, but that's not sufficient. You don't want to just put that in because then you wouldn't get marks for that part. Please outline the process you used to calculate the decrease in water usage, the number of water saving devices installed, and or the square meters of impermeable surface made permeable. And describe the conversion factors, the worksheets, and or the calculations you developed. And if you need any help with any calculations or formulas or things like that, I do happen to also be a high school math teacher, so definitely contact me. I'll have my contact information at the end of this webinar, and I can help you with your calculations and things like that. So final report, what did they learn? So what percentage of survey respondents were correct when they responded to the first survey about from where their community's tap water comes? And what percentage of survey respondents were correct when they responded to the last survey in regards to from where the community's tap water comes? And remember that this needs to be an open-ended question. So this should not be a multiple choice question or a true-false question. You should just ask them, from where does your tap water come? And then have a space or a line or whatever for them to put the name of the source. You can also email up to 12 photos and or a 5-minute or shorter video to info@safewater.org. You will not be able to upload them to the form, so you will need to email them. Make sure that you have all the proper permission forms filled out, as these may be used in future promotions for Safe Drinking Water Foundation, the W. Garfield Weston Foundation, or RBC. Please email any spreadsheets or tools that you created for managing and analyzing your data to that same email address. So if you have spreadsheets or if you have pictures of your formula and your calculations, then please email them to me. Please include your school name in all email submissions because I will need to match up the photos and the videos with the reports to send them to the judges. And does anybody have any questions? So I'm just going to pop out of here for a second to see if anybody has any questions. Are there any questions? Okay, no questions. So let's go back into the PowerPoint. And remember that the grand prize is that the winning school will be presented with a grand prize package that has a value of $3,000. It will include a water bottle filling station for your school and a commemorative plaque. There will also be a $2,200 prize to the top Saskatchewan school. So the Saskatchewan school will receive a water bottle filling station, a commemorative plaque. So if the national winner has some funds left over, they can use them for reusable water bottles. They can also use them for more water testing kits from us. And if the Saskatchewan school doesn't have quite enough money to purchase the water bottle filling station, then there might need to be a contribution of a little bit of money on the school's part. And here are some acknowledgements that we would like to give today. So thank you to the teachers and the students for joining today and taking part in the competition to raise awareness about water issues. Thank you for making a difference in your community, in your area. Thank you to the W. Garfield Weston Foundation and RBC for their help in terms of the funding for this project. Remember to watch recordings of any webinars you missed. So you can go to that same webpage that you'll go to submit your final report, which is safewater.org/student-action-competition, or just go to safewater.org and then under educational programs, click on student action competition. And on our YouTube channel, they're available as well. So just go to YouTube and search for Safe Drinking Water Foundation. And remember that the final report is due Friday, December 20th. So late reports will not be accepted. So here's some contact information. So if you have any questions or you need any help, remember, if you need help with the formulas or the math or the calculations, I'm also a good person for that, I believe, as a high school math teacher. So if you'd like that opportunity to chat about your project, please feel free to contact myself. You can phone me at 306-934-0389. You can also email me at info@safewater.org, or you can visit our website, and there's also a form there which you can use to contact me. Okay, so that is it for today. I hope that your projects are going well. Remember that sorry, just a second here. Remember that report is due December 20th, so that's probably right before your winter break. And best of luck with that, and have a wonderful winter break.